Glad you're here. Good to see you. Hey, Joni. I will call you about your question. Okay. Because it's a bigger thing than what we're doing here. But we absolutely can talk. Don't let me forget either in the midst of all my stuff. Okay. Good morning. I'm Reverend DeeAnn. Hi, Lance. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to meet you. Welcome. So glad you're here with us this morning. Did you enjoy the meditation? Well, that's okay. It's here every Sunday from 9:30 to 9:50. So, and you can come in at any point. We just ask you to come in quietly. So, even if you just want to catch 5 minutes before we, start to ramp up for service, just know that's available. Yeah. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us. Hi. How are you? Yeah? You're looking lovely. Oh, I know. I didn't actually get to do it. I helped write it, but then I had COVID. So Reverend Sonia Milton did it for me, but we're doing a blessing. We're going to bless them in service. Oh, I know. I know. Hi, baby.
My question is,
Yes.
so
This community does. It's a mutual appreciation club. Yeah, I love you too. Love you too. Oh, Miranda's birthday? That sucks. Okay, I gotta get that video done. Yeah, I know. Okay. Oh, we could, of course. Maybe we could even do it here. Do it after service. Okay, yeah, that would be fun. Because I got the message, I'm just at 6s and 7s at the moment, so. Yeah, let's do it. No, this week. Next week, we're going to, right after service, Chris and I are, out of here because we're going to see the last women's national soccer team before the World Cup. They're playing in San Jose. So we're going. So we'll do it today after service. If you don't see me, grab Chris and tell her we're going to do our video for Gregory together, and then we'll make sure it happens before we leave. Oh yeah, the three of us can do it. Either Chris can hold it, she's really good at doing selfies, or we'll get somebody to hold it for us. We'll do it on a phone. Yes, we can do that too. We can do that too. Oh my God! I know, all those little pieces, right? Oh, Cindy. Hi. So Cindy, this is Noelle and Frank. These are from Unity San Francisco. Yeah. So they surprised me. So I'm tearing up, so. Yay. Yeah, right? She is. She's up there. We'll see you after is what she's saying. I know. We hugged already. I know who DeeAnn is. We talk. You look fabulous, Charcel. Every Sunday she outdoes herself with her ensemble. I saw Gabrielle. It's not right? Well, that's weird. Okay, I literally have 1 minute. Hi. Oh. It's so good to see you. Did you go with your parents? saw them in the photos. They look like they're having an incredible trip. Really looks like they're doing an amazing trip. Oh, hi! You're here! Oh, I missed you. Oh, thank you for being here today. Oh. I gotcha. Oh, that's good. Jeremy Lieber, everybody. He had the most relaxing morning this morning because our musical inspiration today is Copper Women, and they are a cappella. And if you haven't experienced them before, you are in for such a treat. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm Reverend DeeAnn Morency. I'm the senior minister here, and as I'm sure you can tell, I'm feeling better. It's been we got an espresso machine. Caffeine is an amazing thing. But really, it's the only thing that's been clearing out my sinuses, so, you know. Welcome, everyone. This is Unity in Marin. We're this beautiful community that is grounded in love, that is anchored in the divinity that we are. Today is Ask the Minister. And so I have about 10 questions that were submitted to me. I will try to get through as many of them as I can. What I have decided is that some of these questions were so big that I'm going to make them my talks for August. Right? Some of them are just big. And I thought, okay, like they need more time. So I will address some of these during my talks in August. So welcome. Come on in, everyone. I see everyone filing in. As I said, we have Copper Women with us today. And it is also a holiday weekend. And I don't know about you, it's been a challenging week on many levels. And for wherever you may fall on the political spectrum, because we are Unity, so we're inclusive, we are open to all that are here, I do want to anchor something, which is that not all of the solutions that our country has been coming up with to try to wrestle with the innate inequity that is part of our world are necessarily awesome and incredible. But the idea behind it is that we are always striving for more, that we're not settling. And so it was very challenging this week to discover that, what had been a protected class of people, LGBTQ+, is now no longer fully protected anymore. And I talked about this last week, how there is a war happening out there around inclusivity, around diversity. So I found these two images, which I just wanted to share with you, because we want to celebrate that freedom is an innate part of this beautiful, magnificent country, and that we are so not done. Can we all just say amen to that? That we're not done. So I love this because I think it just pictures, for me, graphics always help. So we have inequality, where clearly the tree is leaning in one direction, and it's making it easier for some people to grab those apples. And then we have what would be considered to be equality, which is two people get the same size ladder. And there's a question mark there, because that doesn't necessarily help, does it? And then we have equity, which is where there's two different size ladders, but the access is the same. And then we have justice. And this is what I am personally committed to, which is where we're actually fixing the system. That we're actually fixing the system itself. So if we can show the next slide, which I think also shows it. So equality, we're all standing on the same size box. How's that working for everyone in the picture? Equity, where we are compensating, and then justice, where we actually remove the obstacle, completely remove the systemic system that is creating something. So I just want to invite all of us over this holiday weekend that we get to celebrate freedom, and we also get to celebrate that each of us is called to step into justice. That is the work that we are all called to dismantle a system that creates opportunities for some and makes it much harder for others. And I am sure everybody in here has experienced those moments where equality did not equal equity. Every person in here. It's not just, Chris was sharing with me an example of ramps for disabled and for wheelchair access on curbs, and how hard that community had to fight to be able to just be on a sidewalk. And yet, is it only those people in wheelchairs that get the benefits of that growth and expansion? People with strollers, kids on skateboards, kids on bikes, little kids on tricycles. We all benefit. That's the thing I want us all to remember, that we all benefit when a part of us benefits. So, that being said, so I'm going to get down off my soapbox, and we're going to start with our community song. I'm going to invite folks to rise as they're willing or able, and Carolyn's going to lead us.
And I'm going to see if this mic is working. I'm going to just make sure that everybody knows that they are in the right place at the right time. You know that, don't you? All right, if I could get a little bit more microphone, that would be great. Let's sing together. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Let's do that again. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place. Clap your hands with me. At the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. One more time. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Oh, so it's time for our opening prayer. I'm going to invite Bonnie Abbey to come forward with the prayer box. I'm going to invite all of our prayer chaplains to rise, and you are welcome to encircle this community, back, front, sides. I'm also going to invite anyone in the community who feels as if they anchor consciousness for the world, for each other. You are welcome to rise as well and just hold sacred space. If you're watching online, welcome. You are held in this sacred container that we are creating right now. So we get to breathe together. What a gift that is. The breath that is life itself. And so we quiet the mind. And the invitation is to open the heart. Welcoming the stillness at the very center of our beingness. So whatever came before this moment, we're letting it go. And whatever might be coming later, we're letting that go. And we're welcoming present moment awareness. So there's nothing to do. There's nothing to be. We just are. And as we welcome that stillness, that centered understanding of the deepest understanding of ourself, not the surface, but our true nature, I recognize that as love. I recognize that as joy. I recognize that as infinite potential. This is what we know and believe in unity, that we are always expanding, always growing, always more, and never less. And so it is in that awareness that I bless this call for freedom. I bless all who in this moment feel limited by whatever it is that is limiting us, whether it's societal expectations, whether it's our own inner struggles, whether it is systemic, telling us we're supposed to be a certain way. In this moment, just choosing to let that fall away and to see the wholeness that is our innate birthright. I am whole, you are whole, we are whole, and that call for freedom is that divine call that is ringing out like a clarion bell. And so the invitation right now is to see that freedom. Perhaps where there has been no awareness of freedom before. To see freedom like a wind of change moving through our own understanding and out into the world. Freedom to be, freedom from oppression, freedom for opportunities. How grateful I am. How truly grateful I am to live in this country that holds this ideal so close. And how grateful I am for this community that says yes to living into that ideal more fully and more powerfully and more joyfully, because freedom for me is freedom for you, is freedom for all. How blessed we are with our individual awareness that is global consciousness. And so in gratitude for this, I see freedom encircling this globe. I see freedom touching each individual's heart, mind, awareness. And I see and I know that somewhere, multiple somewheres, someone takes a breath that they didn't know they could take before. Someone dances down the hillside. Someone sings a song of freedom anew. How beautiful that is. How grateful I am. And in agreement with this vision of freedom, I invite us all to say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you all. You may be seated. I'm going to invite Cindy Urbano to come on up for our inspirational reading.
Buenos días, Unity.
Buenos días, Cindy.
¿Cómo están?
Bien.
Oh my goodness! I think we should start doing it. We should start doing a little bit more Spanish, I think. DeeAnn.
Yes.
Well, it's such an amazing and beautiful summer morning for our inspirational reading. So a sacred moment to choose how to apply. No? Thank you. There? Great. It's such an amazing and beautiful summer morning for our inspirational reading. A sacred moment to choose how to apply these words either as a reflection, meditation, or prayer. So let's get a deep breath together. Close your eyes if you wish and feel my invitation to apply this message. The affirmation for today is, I choose to stay curious, opening my mind and heart to new possibilities. And in Spanish, elijo mantener la curiosidad, abriendo mi mente y mi corazón a nuevas posibilidades. Photographers look at subjects from many angles. They move up, down, right, a little bit to the left. They crawl on the ground and climb onto objects just to see things differently. These artists let their curiosity be their guide. They reveal life in unique and beautiful ways. In my own life, I also consciously tap into my curiosity with the intention to explore new perspectives. When I prepare to meet someone or try a new activity, I approach the encounter with wonder. From the most routine situation to complex life choices, curiosity helps me find the best solution. I open my heart and mind to see beyond what I already know and expect. In this place of openness, I grow and expand as I welcome limitless possibility. Once again, the affirmation for today is, I choose to stay curious, opening my mind and heart to new possibilities. Please note this with me.
I choose to stay curious, opening my mind and heart to new possibilities.
And in Spanish, I will do it first, and then you will repeat with me as we usually do. Elijo mantener la curiosidad, abriendo mi mente, mi corazón a nuevas posibilidades. Please, I'm going to say it first, and you repeat later. Elijo mantener. I will say it first. I will say it first, and then you go. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Elijo mantener la curiosidad.
Elijo mantener la curiosidad.
Abriendo mi mente.
Abriendo mi mente.
Y mi corazón.
Y mi corazón.
A nuevas posibilidades.
A nuevas posibilidades.
Such an amazing.
Nuevas posibilidades. New possibilities for all of us. So wonderful to see all of you here today on this holiday weekend. I hope you're keeping cool. Went to the fair the other day, and it's always wonderful to see the diversity within this community. You know, people think, oh, Marin is a certain way, but get out there and experience life the way a lot of people do, and you'll meet all different types. It's wonderful, and we are an inclusive community that invites anyone to be part of us and who we are and what we do. And we are ambassadors of love and welcome. So everybody who's here, make your neighbor welcome, whether you haven't seen them before or haven't talked with them before. Afterwards, we'll have food out in the courtyard. Reverend DeeAnn will be right here by the door, so you can talk to her. And there will be a board member at a table out there, and there's the bookstore, and there's food and all kinds of good stuff. So be part of our welcoming community. And for all of you first-timers, we're very glad to have you here. And you can stay connected with us simply by pulling out your phone and texting 415-991-7111. And if you haven't been here before and done that, just text the word welcome, and Reverend DeeAnn can be in touch with you with all the good things that are happening here. Not too often, you won't get spammed, just enough to stay in touch. And also in your bulletin, there is a tear-off piece that is our spiritual connection card. All you have to do is fill this out with your name and your phone number and any other information you want to give to us. And then on the back, there is space for you to write any message you might like us to know, the staff to know, or Reverend DeeAnn to know. And if you have any prayer requests, this is just another way to stay in touch with us and to let us know what's on your mind and on your heart. And I'm going to have Reverend DeeAnn come up to talk about our flower sponsorship.
So I'm the sponsor of the flowers today. And who I'm sponsoring these to is to our wonderful staff. Can we absolutely... I took vacation for 2.5 weeks, and with COVID, it became almost a month. And this staff, so Carolyn, Cindy Acker, Zach, my wife had COVID with me, so she doesn't count, Dory, Debbie, Colin, held this, and Reese, Lissa Masters, held everything together so beautifully. It really speaks to the community and how centered and anchored we truly are. So my deepest gratitude. I also wanted to update the community. So Alfonso, who was our incredible video operator, his mother became very sick, and she passed away in the middle of June. And so he is now in Florida. He was there with her, and he is now navigating her, taking care of everything that means when we lose such a loved one. So he's planning on being there for at least a year. So we're very sad that he is no longer here in the space with us, but he is supporting us still remotely. So there are things that he can do as a video expert that he is still helping us do remotely. So Alfonso, we're all thinking of you, and we love you.
And these spectacular red, white, and blue flowers were designed by Sarah Gaspari. We love you, Sarah. And our service sponsor today are Joel and Santon. Santon and Joel, will you just stand up, because they're in the back, and some people know you by sight but may not know how active you are in the community. So we really appreciate you and appreciate your blessing, all the many ways that you bless us. And now I'd like to read part of our mission statement and have you say it along with me. Unity in Marin's mission.
Unity in Marin is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world.
And our core values are
connectivity, inclusivity, and authenticity.
And today we're going to highlight inclusivity.
Cultivating a safe space to celebrate diversity and value the uniqueness of every person. We widen our lens to understand and honor the lived experience of others. We are enriched and become more as we consciously question our assumptions. We cultivate a space of belonging for all before they come in the door.
And so it is. And our sacred service spotlight today highlights our bookstore, which actually is a welcome hub for new people and for people who may not feel comfortable going elsewhere, but they really want to connect. So Christine Morgan, please stand up. She's been holding the space for years. Woo! We love you and appreciate you so much, Christine. And Vicki Clark, who couldn't be here today, has been her wonderful right-hand person in moving the bookstore from the other building over here and making it ready and a welcoming place for all of you. So go visit the bookstore today. Maybe you'll find something special there. And now I'd like to invite up Copper Women to honor us and bless us with one of their songs.
I will speak my truth, no matter what my fear might say. I will speak my truth, no matter what my fear might say. So let it be my voice's strong power, full force carries me on. Sisters, when we come together, strong power, our love carries us on. I will speak my truth, no matter what my fear might say.
Oh, you could just listen to them all day, yes? Oh, it is so wonderful. Carolyn, can you put that back together for me?
I hope so.
Oh. May our voices be strong, right? Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. So, got about 10 questions, as I said, for Ask the Minister. And some of them are bigger than what I might be able to cover today. I'm going to try to touch on as many as I can. But like I said, thank you for giving me wonderful topics for August. So I will, over the summer, absolutely be addressing all of the questions. And if you have questions like this, the things that are burning, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Because if you are having these kinds of questions, guess what? Take a look around you. Somebody else is too, because we're never alone in this. So the first question, which I love, is what is your three-minute elevator speech about unity? Anybody in here struggle with the 3-minute elevator speech about unity? And then it goes on, why should a person join or check it out? So my 3-minute speech about unity would be, which I do often as my welcome. So you can go back and watch the welcome. It is a little bit like a 3-minute elevator speech. We're a community that's anchored in love. And that what makes us unique is that we are grounded in the awareness of each person's innate divinity. That we move from an awareness of wholeness, not brokenness. And that we know that each person has the capacity within them to be able to show up as their most divine self. And so what we do at Unity is we offer practical practices. We offer teachings and tools that enable each of us to show up as our most divine, most authentic self. And then the tagline on that is that so that we are not only living a more fulfilled and joyful life personally, but so that we are enabling that fulfillment for everyone on this planet. That's my 3-minute speech. Which can also, so that's why people should join, right? Because we've got room for everything here. No matter where you are on your journey, no matter where you are, there is a space and a place where we here as a community say, we see you, we love you, we bless you. That brokenness piece for me is huge. That we do not come from a place of brokenness. Which leads me to the second question that somebody sent, which is Unity Christian? And if not, what would it be called? Whew, okay, so this is a very loaded question. There is no, I'll be totally honest with everyone, there is no cohesiveness within Unity. There's pretty much 2 camps around this. There are people who are very attached to Unity's Christian identity. We believe in the teachings of Jesus. Does that make us Christian? This is where the second camp has questions. Because to anyone who identifies as Christian, usually the pieces that fall in place around that are that they believe that they will be saved through the suffering and the sacrifice of Jesus. That is one of the central components, as well as that we are born in original sin. Go back to my first statement about what unity is. So it is not that we're not Christian, but if someone comes here expecting a Christian philosophy, are they going to be disappointed? They are. And so for me, it's really a matter of trying to be clear about who we are now, So how I describe it is that our roots are grounded in the Judeo-Christian teachings and scripture. That is absolutely. And that we believe and follow and seek to emulate the teachings of Jesus, the way shower, as a way shower. So that's the other difference. We do not pray to Jesus. So can you see how this can create challenges? If we describe ourselves as Christian, people come in with a certain set of expectations about what that means in terms of our philosophy, in terms of our cosmology. Ultimately, you get to sort of sit with how that lives for you. I would say that unity is closer to pre-Christian. So that period after Jesus was born, after Jesus inspires the apostles, after Jesus is bringing this teaching of love to the Judeo scriptures and introducing something else into the understanding that is what we now are trying to live into, which is love. The idea of love being more important than human law. That love is actually what we need to be focused on and living from. We absolutely believe that. So if that for you defines it as Christian, go for it. As you're describing us to other people, I perhaps might be a little bit more open about it. Does that make sense to everyone? Which brings me to my next question. I lined these up so that they kind of try to flow. Is there a there in unity? Or is it all about individual research, choice, practice, and responsibility? And their first part of the question is, if we are all Supreme Spirit and we are one with God, does that mean we are each bundles of boundless energy that pervades the earth and the entire cosmos? And how do we define what God is, please? So what I would say is, this is like a dissertation, right? This topic here. If you haven't had a chance to watch my 5 talks on the 5 principles that I did in January, I would suggest you go and take a look at that, because I do dive into a little bit more about what does unity believe? How do we define God? What does that look like for us? In a nutshell, this person just asked if we were energy. And yes, we are energy. God is the thing before energy. Take a breath with me. God is the thing before energy. Energy is something that manifests in the world. God is something before that. God is the thing that is behind energy. Does that make sense to everyone? And we can't really understand it, so give it up. What we can do is seek to understand how we can access this idea of one power and one presence. How we understand one power and one presence, that there is no separation. We live in a world of duality. How do we hold the larger picture that is bigger than duality? And that's one power and one presence. And that is really big. So what we often talk about in unity is our 12 powers. That's how we can try and understand God. We try to name it. We try to give it some sort of categorization. Is God beyond categorization? Yes. Is God a being? And this is that other space where unity differentiates itself from a lot of Christian theology. We do not believe that God is a being. We believe that God is beingness. And that is a huge distinction. Huge distinction. That we believe that God is beingness. And so how we access this beingness will change depending on what's happening in our lives. So I'm going to be starting a 12 Powers series next week. And I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 powers each Sunday. so that we can dive into how do we actually, in unity, try to understand the unnameable? How do we actually try to make the unnameable something that's accessible to us and useful? Because this is the thing that unity comes back to again and again and again and again. Is it useful? Does it enable you to live a more joy-filled life? Because wherever you are now in your understanding of God, and is this where you're going to be in 10 years? No. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly growing. So within unity, there's also this awareness that we want to keep coming back with beginner's mind. Again and again and again and again. Going back, looking at some of our assumptions, what unity might call your embedded theology. What were you brought up to believe that keeps showing up for you? What are you believing because it's in complete reaction to what you were told you should believe? And can you begin to open that up? So this is where the second part of that person's question is there a there in unity? I would say there is so much there in unity. That in fact it's intimidating for people. There is so much there in unity that it is inviting us to own the divinity that we are. That we can't just abdicate our responsibility. That we're not just listening to me or to some other figurehead. And this is the second question, is it all about individual research, choice, practice, and responsibility? And I would say, isn't that kind of the there of unity? That the fact that you are divine, the fact that wisdom, that innate knowing, the knower that knows is a term that we often use in unity, is you. And that we in unity support you in standing in the knower that knows. We support you discovering that. We support you owning that. We support you healing the wounds of this world within yourself and within your community. That's a whole lot of there, isn't it? The 5 principles, which you hear me kvetch about in that talk series, is actually 3 principles and 2 practices. It's God, there is only one power and one presence. We are divine, and that we have the power to create because we are divine. And that to me is a whole lot of there. So, question number 5. I very much appreciate that unity has an interfaith orientation and respects the metaphysical underpinnings of so many religious traditions and incorporates spiritual practices from many of them. However, I notice that when a serious life challenge occurs for me, not something everyday-ish, when big challenges come up, I can feel insecure and anxious about what practice to use in my dark hour. What is unity's go-to recommendation in times of trial? Now, is that a great question? So what I would say is that unity is not actually interfaith. Take a breath with me. I am an ordained interfaith minister, so we are not actually interfaith. What we are perhaps is trans-denominational. That we are open to wisdom wherever that wisdom shows up. But we are still holding it within unity's framework. One power, one presence. I am divine. I am a creator. Those never waver. And not all faith traditions believe those 3 things. So while we may be using beautiful chants that clearly come out of a different tradition, we are holding it within the context of unity's belief system. Is everyone with me? We often will say that unity is open at the top, meaning that Charles and Fillmore, so unity is over 140 years old, which we're a baby, right, compared to the other faith traditions. We're babies. And so do we think that Charles and Myrtle, as brilliant as they were, as insightful as they were, that they got everything right? So we're open at the top, meaning that as new information comes, as we are exposed to different perspectives and different understandings, that we absolutely are growing and evolving and expanding and saying, there's truth there. What I would say is that unity aligns with the mystical traditions of almost all faith traditions. We align with the mystical perspective of Christianity. We align with the mystical perspective of Sufism. We align with that which is not being literal. That is something that unity, we don't believe in the literal interpretation of Scripture. Whew, take a breath, everybody. We believe in the metaphysical understanding of Scripture, that it is an evolving roadmap to our discovering our true nature and knowing it and living into it. That's the thing. Put your feet to it. We are the voice, we are the hands, we are the feet of God. We really believe that. Is that a lot of there for people? Yeah. So what spiritual practices do we have that are central? Well, those are the second remember I said the 5 principles are actually 3 principles and 2 practices. So the 2 practices are prayer and meditation, right? And then living it. Living the first 3 principles. So when you find yourself overwhelmed and in those dark nights of the soul, anybody in here have one of those? I've had a history of dark nights of the soul. And in that process, what I have discovered is that every time I come out of that dark night of the soul, there is more light, there is more joy. I have worked those first 3 principles. I have integrated them more fully into my being, and so I'm able to live more freely. I've healed something. The entire world is trying to tell you that you are broken. The entire world is trying to tell you that you are not enough. The entire world is telling you that you need to change and become something out there. And what unity believes is you are already it. And like like Michelangelo revealing David in the marble, that was always in the marble. That's what Michelangelo said. David was always there. I just revealed it. That is our work. That we are chipping away at the things that stand in our own way. Michael Beckwith says that 95% of spiritual liberation is letting go. Letting go. But we got to show up to let go, Bev. Right? It's letting go. So the spiritual practices that are the foundation of unity are meditation, and we're not picky about how you meditate. The idea of meditation is that it leads you to an understanding of the I am. Whatever works for you. We're not going to dictate to you how you're supposed to arrive somewhere. We are continually saying, this is the truth of who we are. How do you want to reveal that for yourself? So meditation, and then we do have a very specific form of prayer. Affirmative prayer is unique to unity. I have said this before. I believe it is our greatest gift to the world. Because our affirmative prayer is not about petitioning an outside God to do something for us. And don't get me wrong, I have been on my knees petitioning an outside God to do something for me sometimes. There is no wrong way to pray. But what unity offers is this incredibly developed, powerful transformational tool that is about naming and claiming the truth of who you already are. And meeting those parts of yourself that feel unworthy and not enough and believe what human race consciousness believes, and meeting it again and again with spiritual truth, with spiritual principle. One power, one presence. I am divine. I am a creator. What do I want to create? Do I want to create suffering in my own life? We can. We're really good at it. But we can also choose to create something else. So meditation and affirmative prayer. And we're coming up on World Day of Prayer in September, so I will be doing a talk on affirmative prayer. I will be offering a class through Unity World Headquarters in October. A couple of you have already taken that class with me. So if you want to take that online class, check out Unity Worldwide Headquarters. I'm going to be offering it with Linda Martella-Whitsitt. And my book should be out soon. So when the book is out, we will do a book study. Okay, we'll do a book study. What are the best methods for strengthening and truly grounding a prayer with intention and vision? Do you think that praying out loud is more efficacious than repeating a prayer internally? Do you think that organic, inside-out, original prayers are more valuable than repeating the same prayer or affirmation over and over again? And if so, how does one avoid personifying God when one has childhood and ancestral programming around that? Okay, another dissertation, right? But let me say this, that and for the person who said, is it all about personal choice? Play around with it. Explore. I have tried to do I've been practicing this for a long time. I teach this. I live affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer literally saved my life. It enabled me to come out of one of the darkest nights of the souls that I would have ever experienced. And in that process of using affirmative prayer, I found that if I just said it in my head and I didn't actually verbalize it, I got lost. The old stories would start to come in. The old tapes would come in because somehow the mind just wants to go where the mind wants to go. So for me personally, and in Unity, we do believe in the power of the spoken word. We do believe that there is power, and it is part of what we understand to be the power of demonstrating. When we actually take an idea in our head, I am whole, and we actually have to create it in sound waves in the room, is it more powerful and impactful? I believe it is. How many times have you done an affirmation looking in the mirror? It's one thing to look in the mirror and silently say, I'm looking good. It's another thing to look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. Can you feel the difference? So experiment. Play around with it. Again, there is no wrong way to pray. So if you've got an affirmation, or if you've got, my mom, when she was trying to move to Florida, sorry mom, I'm sharing this with the world. My prayer partner, Robert, who is awesome, and he and I have been prayer partners for decades now, he wrote my mom a prayer. And what my mom did was take that prayer and she put it on her refrigerator. Every day she woke up and she said the prayer. It was what she needed to help her shift her consciousness. Because what we believe in Unity around affirmative prayer is that what are we changing? Ourselves. We're changing our own consciousness. We're not trying to change some power out there to gift us with something. We are shifting our understanding of who we actually are. And sometimes that takes doing things by rote. It takes repetition. It takes doing it again and again. Sometimes affirmations are what we need. Again, experiment, play around with it. I have found that if you do one thing for too long, it becomes too commonplace and it loses its impact for me. So I try to shake it up. I try to shift it around. I try to keep it as fresh as I possibly can. We also have prayer chaplains. Prayer chaplains, raise your hand. When you aren't sure that you can hold it, guess what? They can. That's what they're here for, to hold that for you, to help you see the thing that is blocking you from knowing your own wholeness. What is Unity's current teaching about the afterlife? You guys just go so small. So historically, Charles Fillmore was an advocate for reincarnation. So Charles Fillmore studied the Hindu Vedic system, and he incorporated the Hindu Vedic system into what unity teachings are. He translated the Hindu Vedic system into unity, into a Christian-based understanding. And so reincarnation became one of the pieces that Charles Fillmore was absolutely adamant that he believed in. Personal choice. Does everybody in unity have to believe in reincarnation? No. Does everybody in unity have the same understanding of what's going to happen in the afterlife? No. And do you want to know why? Because we don't know. I mean, that's the thing. That's one of the things I love about unity, is we really try not to make up, right? We really try to be as honest and as clear about what we do know and what we don't know, and we try to open it up and say, we believe in infinite potential. We believe in infinite possibility. So my question always is, will it enable you to live a more fulfilled and joyful life? Will it enable you to show up and be in service to this world, to believe in reincarnation? If it will, go for it. We're all going to find out at some point what the actual truth is. So don't get so attached. The other thing unity is we believe heaven is now. We believe that heaven is available to us now. It's not something we have to wait for. It's not something that we have to die to be able to experience. We believe that that is available to us in this moment. So what is waiting on the other side? Woo! It's going to be a grand adventure, isn't it? Yeah. So explore it. And again, what will enable you? I know we've got some members of our community who are getting closer to that particular transition. And in Unity, we actually call death a transition, because we do not see it as the end of something. One of the most famous early writers talks about how the baby in the womb, when it's birthing, thinks that its world is ending, thinks that it's dying, and equates death with that type of birth. That we, like the baby, think that our entire world is ending, and yet what is actually happening is we are being birthed into another dimension of understanding. So I offer that to you. That, for me, is useful. And I know it can be frustrating that we don't have, like, this is what you should believe. But that's part of our there. That you get to personally sit with what's alive for you. What authentically is going to align for you and allow you to show up more joyfully. Again, that's my bottom line again and again. Use that as your litmus test. What am I believing? Does it enable me to live a more joyful life? If you believe you are born in original sin, does that enable you to live a more joyful life? If you believe that God is some patriarchal male dude sitting on a throne with like thunder and lightning bolts out to get you at any moment, you never know what God's going to do, does that enable you to live a more joyful and fulfilled life? For some people, it does. I want to be really clear, and we're not dissing other traditions or other levels of consciousness or other understandings. We get to bring where we are right now, and we know that it's continually evolving. What I believed when I first came into this teaching is different from what I understand and live into now. And I personally hope that's going to continue, right? That I'm going to stay curious. So I didn't get to all the questions, but I will get to them in subsequent weeks, okay? How was that? We covered a lot, yes? A lot. Oh. And I love you guys. Let me say this too. If you have burning questions like that, come make an appointment to meet with you. I hear people say to me all the time, oh, you're so busy. I don't want to be one of the people that adds to what you have to do. This is my job. This is my job. And I love this part of my job. It's like my favorite part of the job. So please enable me to do this part of my job. So let's do this affirmation together. I'm going to say it first, and then you'll say it after me. I choose to stay curious, opening my mind and heart to new possibilities.
I choose to stay curious, opening my mind and heart to new possibilities.
Okay, here we go. Elijo mantener la curiosidad. Abriendo mi mente. Y mi corazón a nuevas posibilidades. I love it when Cindy's here and we do the Spanish and I'm like, okay, here I go, stepping out when I have no idea what I'm doing. So we're going to do a community blessing right now. So we have 2 members of our community who got married last week. And it was a long time coming. So I am going to invite Bob and Clay to come on up here right now. Promises do come true. Clay sent out a video and it said, at last. So you both have been together a very long time. And you have taken this next step, deepening what has been there and just allowing something else to begin to emerge. The promises that you make to each other, the love that you share with each other. And I want you both to know that this entire community supports you, loves you, and just is blessing this beautiful, beautiful union. So I'm going to invite everybody here to stand. We have a blessing. And I changed it, so you don't know what it is. So we're going to extend our hands and our hearts, and we're going to say together, Clay and Bob, we celebrate your love. We bless your marriage with love overflowing and joy everlasting. Mazel tov! I love you both. Did you want to say anything? No? Did you want to say anything? So they say thank you. Can we give them some more love? It's fun to do that, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to invite Copper Women to come back up here. Bless us with another song. We're running a little late, everybody. Just breathe into it, okay? Because we're not rushing these women at all.
That the message that you've been speaking about is so beautiful, to include everyone and to make it a place for everyone, no matter what and who they are in each moment. And Alex wrote this beautiful song that says, "We will rise." And that's speaking about this movement, the movement of everyone on this planet now, to include all people, how they are in their divinity.
I will say what needs to be said. I will no longer shut it down. I'll use my voice, I'll stand my ground. I infuse myself with wholeness. I wrap myself in a cloak of boldness. There's no vulnerable too threatening. There's no fury too fierce to speak. I am standing tall and proud. I use my voice. It's clear and loud. It's clear and loud. Standing proud and tall, I will no longer be small for you. For you. And I don't need your permission to rise. I'll rise. We are standing tall and proud. We use our voices. They're clear and loud. And loud. We are standing proud and tall. We will no longer be small for you. For you. We will rise. And we don't need your permission to rise. We won't accept these conditions. We'll rise. We will rise. We will rise. We will rise. Like the tide.
That was so beautiful. Thank you for taking us into that deep heart space that we all love and come to expect here at Unity in Marin because we are such a loving community. And I was thinking that if Unity was a political movement, we'd all be voting for it. And if it was a regular nonprofit, we'd all be volunteering for it. So just putting our time and our energy and our love and our money into the support of these principles is the reason that we're here, the reason that we're thriving. So many faith communities and churches and philosophies just kind of went kaput with the pandemic. They faded away, and we are quite the opposite. It's always wonderful to look out and see these great people here live, and to know that so many people are live streaming us and watching us during the week even, and knowing that these principles are spreading out. So thank you for the wonderful answers to those questions, Reverend DeeAnn. It was really very helpful. So now is our time that we are going to have our love offering. So if you care to give something, put in the envelope, or if you're a regular giver, a tither, you can let us know, bless the offering. And those online, there are many ways to give, and here are some of them. You can text us, 84321. You can use a credit card right here, or you can phone into the office, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and mail a check to 600 Palm Drive. And I'd like the ushers to go ahead and start while the Copper Women prepare to do the next song, because they're going to teach us to sing along with them on this last song.
Love to hear your beautiful voices joined with ours. We're going to split in thirds. So this portion will be singing with me, this portion with Karinjot, and this portion with Alex. And I'll teach you, should we sing it together first? And then we'll break it down in parts for you.
So this song was inspired by this beautiful sacred text that comes from Kashmir called the Bhairava Tantra, and it was translated into a book called the Radiant Sutras by Lauren Roach. And it was the first time I heard my favorite name for God, which is the great musician.
Sing me alive, oh mother divine. Sing me alive, my arms open wide. Sing me alive, oh mother divine. Sing me alive, my arms open wide.
So we'll start. Sing me alive. With me. Sing me alive. Again. Sing me alive. You got it. One more. Sing me alive. Beautiful. We good? Yeah.
I'm sorry, wrong note. Okay, let's try that again. I need to learn my own song.
Sing me alive.
So this is a little complex, but I know you can do it. I hear a beautiful chorus already, so let's try it again.
And just singing simply any note is also great.
Yes, whatever you sing is beautiful. So I just want to hear your voices.
Sing me alive. Sing me alive.
Beautiful.
I think my part is the easiest.
Sing me alive, oh Mother Divine. Sing me alive, oh Mother Divine. Sing me alive, my arms open wide. Sing me alive, my arms open wide.
At the very end, we go back up.
And this can be for everyone.
Okay, we're doing it all together. Before we start from the top.
Sing me alive, oh Mother Divine. Sing me alive, my arms open wide. Sing me alive, oh Mother Divine. Sing me
Great job.
So the first part we'll just do line by line.
The great musician, she plays as she sings us. The great musician, she plays as she sings us. Into the song of existence. Into the song of existence. Into the heart of
Well, you made us sound so good. You all are incredible. Thank you. I'm just going to go through a few brief announcements to keep you abreast of things that are going on. Today is the Unity in Marin Support Circle. This is a recurring drop-in. So if you want to just show up, Barbara Cochran is running it, and she'll be back in the... Hi, Barbara. You can stand. She'll be back in this quiet room in the back, correct? Great. And this is the last week you can sign up for the community small groups. They're going to be going starting next week. And we highlighted some of them in the text or the email. Just a few others that I want to let you know about because you might not have kind of paid enough attention to these things. Just saying. One that's interesting is called Breathe, Chop, Eat. And Joel Kaufman is going to be helping run that. Going to start out with breath work and meditation.
With DeeAnn.
And then, beg your pardon?
Redworth with DeeAnn.
With DeeAnn. Oh, she's doing the breathing part. And Joel's doing the chop part. And you're going to do the eat part. So he's going to teach us culinary knife skills, which he learned in the CIA. That's the Culinary Institute of America. And after all of that is done, you get to eat the results. And it's going to be here on the campus on Sunday after church. So it should be easy enough for you to get to. So sign up for that. Another one I want to tell you about is releasing the stress by awakening your inner child. Gloria is here, and Cindy, who read our inspirational reading today, are leading that, and they're going to just have a really good time and teach you just ways of playing. And they'll also be on the campus, so different places in the campus, just to have a good time and release your inner child and play and have fun. And the other one I wanted to highlight is Awaken to Your Spirit. And Spiritual Direction is a course that Tom McAuliffe studied for 2 years to bring to us and teach us how to bring our spiritual principles to our lives. And again, if you can't make, it's a Tuesday evening, if you can't make everyone, just make the ones you can, okay? And there are more, so they're outside and they're also on the website. And then I wanted to tell you that about Reverend DeeAnn is going to lead a life visioning process, and this is here by popular demand. If you want to move from problem to vision, learn this process because it will help you to clarify your vision. And once you have that vision, you can fund it. You can learn how to fund it through the class that Linda Anderson Henry is teaching. She's a wonderful part of our community for a long time, and this is going to be, again, a transformative way of bringing your dreams to reality. You know, it's a holiday, so the office is going to be closed to Wednesday for the holiday. Of course, Tuesday, but also Wednesday. And now
we're open Wednesday, but we're not here Tuesday.
I'm sorry, Tuesday. Closed Tuesday and open Wednesday the 5th. All right. Yeah, right, because we have a staff meeting.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Will the Unity in Marin prayer chaplains please stand? And they are here to hold you in sacred space and see you for who you are inside that beautiful divine light that you are. And we'd like to invite the children in from their creative arts space if they are here and available today. They may be, I saw them bringing in hula hoops, so they may be busy shaking it up. They don't have to worry about bringing out their inner child, do they? Here they go. All right. You're learning to drive.
I love it.
And Reverend DeeAnn, would you like to do the blessing today?
Yes. So we have a blessing that we say to the children that are here, to the children who are off for summer vacation, for the children in our hearts, and for the children of the world. We extend our hands and we say, you are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you just the way you are. And so it is.
Now let's say our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is.
And so it is.
And now we're going to sing the song that Karen Drucker wrote for us, One in Unity. We are one in our unity. We are a loving, inclusive community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world again. We are one in unity. We are a loving, inclusive community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world. We are one. We are unity. We are one. We are one. We are one. We are unity. We are one. We are one. We are one. We are unity. We are a loving, inclusive community. We are grateful. Everyone is welcome here. We spread our love into the world. We spread our love.